is Law Nation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter, be sure to hit that like button, share this content. Let that friend, that neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Cowboys Dak Prescott, public enemy, the most hated, number one. Come on with it, plus more. More and more. More and more. Come on with it. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on, shout out to you. I see you, Jeremy. Ace Boogie, what's good? I see you, Holly. Brandy. Jay Versick. Come on with it. Bring the energy. Happy Friday to you. You. Yeah. You. Come on with it. All right. 5, 4, 3. Fill this room up. Cliff, I see you on the Facebook. Shout out to all. Seabass. I see you. You and you. 5, 4, 3, 2. And 1. Come on with it. Yeah! What's good, man? Good morning, good afternoon. Shout out to you, Ryan Mitchell. Appreciate you, man. And good evening. Appreciate you guys. Like and share on X. Let's go. Shout out to you, man. If you guys can do me a huge favor, liking is just a beautiful thing. Sharing is a beautiful thing. And supporting this nation is everything. I appreciate you guys. Next month, we'll be flying out to sunny California dreaming. So while we are in this dead cycling of period of time, there's a lot of things that's been going on. It's the Cowboys. Yeah, it's the Cowboys. And shout out to you, Def King. Appreciate you on the Kick app. We're located on multiple outlets and multiple platforms. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in and these sorts of things. So Ace Boogie says, I have a confession. Now, all right. Now, if you are, Usher, and you're going to say, let it burn, then just have that confession over there. But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. This team heading into this direction, of course we're going to talk about Dak Prescott and his lack of success and a whole bunch of other things. Of course, we're going to hear what Cam had to say about all of this stuff, too. And we're going to tune in to Colin Cowherd and what he had to say. But before we get things on the way, I just want you guys to listen to this about the podcast with Albert Breer. I think he do a great job. And we're going to segue over on this beautiful Friday. I don't know how long the show will go. It may be only an hour, but it's on y'all, man. If y'all continue to show the support, we'll kick it into overtime and have all of, dare I say, the call-ins and all of that good stuff. What we got over here, Ace Boogie? My barber is a Commander fan, and he treats me better than the Cowboy fans. Oh, Lord. Wow.
The draft itself was one of my favorites.
I really like their draft.
I
think Eldorado has a chance to be a real player.
Put
I
a
think
2 in the chat if the audio
brings
straight.
a nastiness and an edge to their offensive line that they were going to need with like losing Zach Martin. I think like Will McClay and their scouting department doesn't get nearly enough credit for the job they've done. Because that's the thing with the Cowboys is like you look over the years, it's like, when is talent ever really the issue? They have some teams that are more talented than others, but when has it ever been like, it's been 20 years since we said like they just don't have the horses. It never seems like that's the problem.
Revel, I think
that, every team is talented. Let me say this again. Every team is talented. There's 32 teams out there. You talking about the highest of the highest levels of football. Every team is talented. And to add to the fact that you get a lot of embellishment with the Cowboys because we are talented viewed. So we get more primetime games. So there are people that's more in tune with the Cowboys than their own team, right? There's people literally that could be fans of Cincinnati, could be fans of the Raiders or whoever. Where they at, they don't even show those teams, but they will show the Cowboys, right? So you get an obscured view of things. Now, talent is one thing, but knowing how to utilize said talent is a whole different thing. Now, for the novice, they would say that, yeah, those sounds like excuses. But I recall a year when the Cowboys had about 9 to maybe 10 Pro Bowlers or something like that. All pros and all of these good things. Got to the postseason game, and none of the guys that with all of these Pro Bowls, all of these accolades and talent didn't give us anything. So what the first thing people do will be to look at it and say, we're going to look at Dak Prescott as he's the de facto fault of it all, right? So when I ask people, when we go and watch the postseason games, how many rushing yards was the running back able to get? Crickets. How many sacks were we able to accumulate? Crickets, right? Turnovers, takeaways, scooping scores, strategy. There's people right now that it doesn't matter how the deck of cards are shuffled out to them. But with strategy, with their insight of knowledge, they will still whoop you. Because even it's a strategy of the mind. And those are the things that's been lacking with the Cowboys. The strategy when we get to those moments. Right? 14 penalties in 2021. There's only, I believe, only one team, I think it was the Raiders in 1970 something or early parts of 90 to win a postseason game with 14 penalties. Right? 2022, defense did do a little bit better in one of the games. I think we won a postseason game in 2022. But didn't get a chance to beat the 49ers. People, the first thing they look at is the quarterback. He threw 2 picks. But without context, people will only think that it's the quarterback. You can't name me the running back that gave you over 2 yards or 3 yards per rush. You can't name me the other wide receiver that stood tall in those moments. But you remember the quarterback. You remember those things, whereas we get inside our own 20. Second and 2. We go empty shotgun. We don't even give the illusion that we can at least run the ball for 2 yards. 2 yards. And we sit back, do a quarterback play, and throw it right to the opposing team. Shame on Dak Prescott for that. At the end of the day, I know CJ in the chat or Roger or Ace Boogie, if they are some cold-blooded spade players, they know how to, okay, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that at this moment. They know how to play with each other. Oh, he led off with clubs this time, meaning that they already had a strategy. Well, if I'm going to lead off with clubs, meaning that I don't have a lot of them. So next time we cutting. Yeah, so you got to have strategy. You got to get your books when you can. You just can't go blind 6 all the time. Man, let me go blind 7 on them, you know. That strategy, yeah, it hit one time. Yeah, you may win, but in actuality, that's not the perfect way to win. Balance is the key, Cowboy Nation. When we start to talk about Roger Staubach before we get into the grit of everything, I'm going all the way back before most of everybody was even born watching this. You got to talk about Roger Staubach as if he had doomsday defense. It just wasn't Roger Staubach, but so many people, due to social media, due to all of this, would think that it was only Roger, that he threw the Hail Mary to himself. On top of that, when we start talking about the 90s team, it was accountability. It wasn't just Troy Aikman. I want you guys to educate yourself and look up the record. Somebody can put it in the chat. What is Troy Aikman record without Emmett? What were the chances of the Cowboys winning Super Bowl without having a top 5 defense? So you don't have none of that stuff if you don't have a complete team, is what I'm getting at. It's crazy how people will say, oh, man, we got talent. We got talent. There's somebody right now watching this show that they've been driving for over 25 to maybe 30 years, some 40. But it's an automatic, right? It doesn't matter if I give them a Ferrari, an Aston Martin, any of these fancy cars, Porsche 911. If it's somehow a standard shift, they won't be able to get it out the driveway. It got talent. It got all of these things as it relates to press a button here and it cools you off when you sit down in the seat. Press this button. The car almost transformed like you in Transformers, right? But can't get it out of the driveway because they don't know how to utilize said weaponry. Yeah. Yeah, Troy Aikman, you know what I'm saying? Mississippi saying 0-3 record without Emmett. Okay, it's a little bit more damaging than that, you know. But what I'm getting at is that it takes a complete team, and it takes someone with knowledge, wisdom, leadership, culture to make it together. It does. Let's listen to the rest of this podcast. And they're doing a great job, you know. And this is what he was saying, of course, the updated part about Siobhan Revel. This was him getting his you-know-what torn up out of the frame. And here's my God-honest truth about Siobhan Revel. We are the only team in the National Football League that can take these measures of risk and keep our jobs. You know, any other team would say, hey, we need these guys to be on the field. Nah, we need to win. Nah. Or with the illusions to win. Nah. You know, that's just the reality of it. But,
he's going to be a beast. Like he
is really interesting. Really, really interesting. Now, it doesn't always work out. I know it's the easy thing to do, to sometimes pluck the injured guy who, and he had like a little bit of a setback, I think, with his knee, but I think he'll be okay. But yeah, he would have been, I mean, fighting to be the first corner taken if he hadn't gotten hurt. So he's another one, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, for clarifications on that, because that what we were talking about a couple of days ago, about if you listen to his wording, you know, it wasn't like, hey, he had a setback like yesterday, right? It was before he was drafted. He had a minor setback. But here's my thing with Siobhan Revel. You don't want to rush him. You don't need to rush him. You shouldn't rush him. You shouldn't want to see him until late November, maybe December. And at best, you redshirt him and say, hey, man, let's get ready for 2026. He can look spectacular. Yeah. But it's something about how God made the world and how things got to be prepared and heal properly. You got to allow nature to do nature things, right? Now, granted, I know that there's miracles and things of that nature, but there's something about allowing a natural process of everything being natural. Don't rush timing. And by us having a microwavable society, instant success society, we want them out there now. We want the success story. We want to see them out there because it's an area of need. Here's how technology over the period of time cripples us. We used to be able to remember numbers like that. A phone number, we remember numbers. There's people watching right now that can't recall 5 or 6 of their best friends' numbers by memory because technology robbed that of us knowing. Technology robbed us of that. We used to be so in tune with the universe or the world. A dog can get bitten by a snake. He don't have to go into the vet. He know how to go into the woods and eat certain herbs and stuff like that and be straight. We have the same mindset, but we becoming so knowledgeable of things that we forget the olden ways. Let nature do nature things. Let that boy heal properly. Yeah, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Some people don't even know their own mama phone number by heart anymore, right? Sure. Hey, they fool around, get pulled over. They got to make the one call. You better know, Frenkel and Frenkel if you're in the slams. But if it's a personal, injury, a lawyer. You better know your lawyer number. Shoot, you be fooling around, get locked up today. Today's Friday. You won't see the judge until Tuesday. You be up in there all this weekend. Where you at? Yeah, because you don't know nobody's number. That is right. So technology cripples us because it babyfies us to a point that we want something instant gratification. No, man, Siobhan Revel. Yeah, when it's his natural time to shine, it's his time to shine. But what we don't want to do is subtly denigrate the kid, throw him out there too early. He get burned by A.J. Brown or Smitty or the next week Malik Neighbors or whoever we play, right? And now his confidence is shattered and gone. And now you got damaged goods for the rest of his career. We don't need that. I would never forget I want to say the Giants did that. Oh, man, the Giants drafted a damn DB from the first round. He was going to be this guy that was going to be lights out. What was his name, y'all? Baker or something? Baker, what was his name? Boy, we matched him up so crazily. Oh, my goodness. They were speaking so high of this kid. But week 1, it was the Cowboys versus the Giants. And they put that young DB, I forgot his name. He been bouncing around from team to team. He even came here for a cup of coffee. Couldn't make the team. First round draft pick. We burnt that kid up so bad, Jeez. Because they put him on Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper went off about 180 yards, 200 yards in that game. Yeah. And for the rest of his life, he was shattered. He was no good. DBs is a mental mindset. Mentally, you got to have a short-term memory. But if you on national TV, especially prime time TV, shoot. Y'all can look at, I think it was 2018, the Giants drafted a guy, DB in the first round. I think he went to Georgia or something. Boy, we burnt that kid up, boy. Shit. Freddie Cougar ain't got nothing. Yeah. But I do like to see Aaron Whitecotton mic'd up. I know you guys may have seen him on his videos and stuff. Shout out to the Cowboys.com. Let's listen to this. And we're going to get to the main entree, which will be Dak Prescott. But do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this content for your boy. Let me know if y'all liking this content. Let's go.
1-2 cross, run it, lean. You're going one bounce or power step across the guard of the tackle's face. So if I'm a tackle, I'm gonna one bounce, I'm going across his face. I won. Now I'm vertical. I'm turning the corner.
Yeah.
Overhand the towel.
No, it wasn't Eli Apple. But man, we toasted Eli Apple. I think his name was Baker or something. He was drafted in the first round for the Giants. We murderous row for him.
Finish, and you're bursting. Stay to the inside, to the right of the cone. Okay? Walk through it. Boom, boom, boom. Tight. Now lean into it. Burst. Good. Beautiful. Hey, 1-2 cross. Run it. Lean. Good. Beautiful. 1-2. Go, Mozzie. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, way to battle. I don't even give a about the towel. Good. Tight, Sam. Lean into it. Pick it up. Yeah! Stay inside. 1-2. Cross. Lean. Burst. Good.
Look at that.
Good.
Look at that.
Come on, Luigi. Long stride. Good.
There we go.
Come on, Marshawn. Lean. Burst. Good.
Yeah, DeAndre Baker, 2019. Yeah, that's his name. Should y'all have me go? DeAndre Baker. It was DeAndre Baker in 2019. Boy, y'all had me doing my research. Boy, we gonna DeAndre. Who remember DeAndre Baker? Coming out of college, he was going to be a good, long, lengthy, rangy type of DB. They can redirect. They can play boundary technique. Can do all of this good stuff. He was going to be the solidifications of the DB to slow down the Cowboys. Yeah, y'all remember him, right? DeAndre Baker. And the first game they put that brother on was against Amari Cooper. Oh my goodness, DeAndre Baker. He was first round draft pick, right? You know. Yeah. Y'all remember I said God, it destroyed his confidence, you know. Yeah. So it was DeAndre Baker. Now, Eli Apple, he always been, not that good of a DB in my opinion. I'm just saying. But it was DeAndre Baker. Yeah. So murderous row. But to get back to the point of things, Aaron Whitecotton, everywhere he's been, his resume just been following him with good things. With the individualized player. Now, Quentin Williams, you can get me out there to coach him up, and I can probably look good, right? But he still had to. Javon Kinlaw, who's notorious when he was with the Jets, believe it or not. He was really good, But he was considered dog food when he was with the Niners. He was considered washed, a bust, a person, a player that's not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z things. But he fooled around and fell into the hands of Aaron, not Roger, but Whitecotton. That boy was getting around there and showing up. I think his production, his productivity increased. Solomon Thomas, who was considered trash, wash, busty, you know what I'm saying? Build like Tarzan, play like Jane, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. And what he was able to do to Solomon Thomas, for those who banging on the table, and I know this kind of like hit people where they don't want to be hit at, but it was a situation and scenario for the last 2 seasons. His stat lines are right there with Jared Allen. Right, and I know some people will be willing to get rid of their spleen for Allen here, So, and I'm not saying that Solomon Thomas is going to continue that, but the craziest thing of it all is Solomon Thomas here is just going to be a rotation. Yeah, it's going to be a rotation. So I do like that because now the impediment that we may have had with Osa, far as law of diminishing rates of return, now that law is going to be set back just a little bit more. Why, law? Because of the fact that he's going to have a solid rotation guy in. So what I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen, is that, it could be a far stretch for us to think that this defense, it was ranked 27, 28 last season. that can we be in the top 15? I'm greedy. I'm thinking that if everyone is healthy, this defense can be top 10. Look at the total body of work. I'm just talking about Aaron Whitecotton. We ain't even talking about Matt Eberflus. And everywhere Matt Eberflus been, it's been in the top 10 category. Everywhere. I haven't seen 25 and 28 and all of this stuff with his defensive ranking. But right now, from us looking from the outside looking in or listening in to the 3-ladder to 4-ladder networks in our own inner feelings about what happened last season. Oh, man, Matt Eberflus ain't going to be able to do all of that, man. He ain't going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. But you can't name me 3 or 4 guys that played for the Colts that's on the level that we got now. Or you can't name me the team that he had last year for the Chicago Bears. You can't name me a Parsons over there, right? And if healthy, the Sam Williams, even though he only had 600 snaps, but when he had these snaps, 4 forced fumbles, 8 sacks, come on with it. They don't now. Jalen Smith, I do like his aspect. I'm talking about the aspect of the DB over there play. But one can argue DeRon Bland is right there in the same room. Same room. But, some people, Dowden Thomas, some people got to fill the holes, you know what I'm saying, in order to know whether or not it's real or not. And speaking of that, I got a guy that it went viral. This video went viral this weekend, right, or this past week. And basically, it's Trayvon Diggs having a casual conversation with a streamer. And he was saying, who's your surprise player for the 2025 season, etc. And let's see if we can scoop up this audio right quick. It's only 19 seconds.
As we got, oh my God.
Who's like your favorite underrated player on the Cowboys right now?
My favorite underrated player?
Yeah, that's gonna have a breakout season. You think?
Sam Williams.
Okay, what does he play?
Defensive end.
Defensive end.
He's like another Micah.
For real?
Yeah. I
Nice.
think he might be faster than Micah. He's young.
He said he might be faster than Micah, Yeah, stream with Neon. Shout out to Neon and them, We shouldn't miss the meat worrying about the potatoes, right? And when people say might be faster, you're talking about different measurables, different length, size. Like Parsons is fast, don't get me wrong. But if you quantify the fact that you got size and length and all of this stuff that Sam got going at 4.4 speed, it doesn't matter. At 4.4 speed, you get hit by that, you're going to be like, wait, which one of y'all hit me type of groove. So shout out to Neon, yeah, for that. And Micah is a guy that in a contract situation, we want him to be successful in this particular space, right? And we get it, right? The Cowboys doing Cowboys things all the way, right? And in this interview, we're going to stick on the defensive side. This is Jack Sanborn. Shout out to Brandon Laurie for scooping this up. And he was talking about Matt Eberflus and how he practices and how the practice is going and these sorts of things. And let's listen into this.
You kind of symbolize what Matt Eberflus wants to do. I've brought up the hits principle for the listeners out there.
All right, so hold on. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all can hear that audio straight. Here's what I'm going to say before we get into the psyche of Matt Eberflus. Discipline and technique can take you so far. Discipline and technique. Technique and discipline. Appreciate y'all. All right, so what I'm getting at, your team can literally be 15, to 20% better just off of discipline. Your team can be 30% better off of technique. Right? You got to have those things. You got to. You got to. You can get motivated and it will take you this far. But discipline, if you're disciplined to your actions, it'll take you this far. A person with a determination can dig a ditch faster with a spoon than a lazy man can with a shovel. It's how disciplined you are with your determination. But you got to bestow upon that. You got to have that in you. And if not, you're going to have it forced to you in order to get these things. And that comes with accountability. That comes with coaching, leadership, a whole bunch of other stuff. There's people right now watching this stream 10 billion times better than me on every category. But they don't have the disciplinary nature to sacrifice their time, to set aside their passion for it, and they do something else. Right? There's people who got so much talent and they are so scared of themselves that they don't believe in themselves. So they would rather punch a clock for someone else. There's a quick saying that either I'm working on my dream or I'm building on someone else's dream, regardless of it. Those are the categories. Those are the categories. Let's listen to this Jack Sanborn interview.
I'll have, obviously, Jack will explain it, but hustle, intensity. He has this principle, and you kind of epitomize that moniker, that acronym, I should say, Jack. And I'm sure players are looking, because they got to be asking you, hey, what is Coach Eberflus looking for? And you're like, hey, man, this is how he wants it done. You're kind of, laying the land there a little bit of what the coach expects in Eberflus. Maybe touch on that a little bit in the hits principle that he brings with him.
Yeah, I mean, the hits, the hustle of intensity, and then, making plays on the ball and just being a smart football player, situationally and everything as well. And, I mean, I think the big one is just that hustle and that intensity part, especially kind of this time of the year right now, is getting in that shape, getting in that football shape. And, I mean, I think guys here will even tell you, and I'll tell you too, just that, the practices are hard and, individual, they make it hard so that you can build that hustle and that kind of that energy in order to be able to fly around there in the fourth quarter. And, it's intense, but at the same time, it's, we enjoy our time out there. We have fun, and it's all about getting better and making the team better.
Intensity. Being able to be, tenacity and all of that stuff. Most people quit right before they finish the finish line, right? Or right before they cross the finish line. Most people do. Life will throw you all type of crazy things just to challenge you, right? Prayer and watching people grow and asking for specific things sometimes can get in the way. Dear Lord, please reveal to me all of my enemies. Then all of a sudden, your friends start dropping off. The higher you climb up in this race, the smaller your circle gets somehow, right? That's crazy. Why? Because everybody don't have great intentions for you, right? But those who really fight for you, they will rock with you when you're down, when you're in the middle, or even when you're high. You got to have all of those courses of things as it relates to these players this offseason, the intensity. I need to know who really got my back. I need to know if I miss my assignment, will someone else be able to fill in the gap? Come on with it. All right. And let's get to this. I want to say Cam. 4th and 1 Cam. He got something to say about Dak Prescott. And it appears that, these fake takes are taking over. The media sensational rise of rage bait, right? The sensationalism of, if you go to Facebook now, they got so much AI, so much crazy stories about the Cowboys and beyond that you don't know whether or not something is real or fake or real, right? And then you got that part of it. And then if you stroll around on certain sites, even on YouTube, there's videos, 100,000, 50,000, 300,000 views that's been fabricated with AI and beyond, right? And that's just the way of the world. So now we're not fighting 3-letters and 4-letter networks. We're fighting concepts of themes of clicks, views, sensationalisms, and all of this stuff. And who can be the most entertaining, right? Paint a red nose on my head. Let me have some dreads and put a headband on. Yeah. Let me cross my legs as a 255-pound guy. You know what I'm saying? Put some shea butter on it and let the guests of the show talk about my legs, right? Let me talk about these things, right? For the views. Yeah. Let me.
If you do not perform this year, that door is going to close. And income, drum roll please, Arch Manning. Baby, I'm here, waiting for you to return. If you don't go to that NFC Championship this year, this is your career, bro. Jerry.
So there's 32 teams out there. 32 teams. Now, in order for us to be in a pool of the conversations with, dare I say, Arch Manning, the Cowboys will have to win probably 1 or 2 games. And the odds of that is equivalent to me having this land on the moon, 80% discount for all of you guys that's watching. And the other odds of it is that I got unsinkable land if you don't want to go to the moon in Florida, hurricane proof in Florida, unsinkable land for sale. Now, there's only 50% off that I will be willing to sell for you guys on that one, right? But at the end of the day, we are the only team that's held to this particular standard that the quarterback must win. The quarterback, nobody else, but only the quarterback. I can't make this stuff up. If I were to show you guys, or Archie Manning, whoever his name is, he may not even be any good. Or he may be everything, and we don't know. But he got to at least play his time out, right? But that's a whole nother story, right? Like I said earlier, allow these people to mature, allow these people to go through their process and beyond, right? But happy Friday to you all.
Is going to do any and everything to spend everything for Arch Manning. I can see it now. Jerry Jones, Sunday Night Football, the Manning family. Dak has had well enough options. Dak had a successful running game with Pollard as well as Ezekiel Elliott. Defense, Troy Aikman only had one lockdown guy. Dak Prescott.
Y'all hear the foolishness. I can't make this stuff up.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
The 1995 or 96 Cowboys, they weren't as, they even though we did have prime, they were not as good. For those who really understand the Cowboys, they were not good as the previous Cowboys that when we won, right? And prime was good, I get it, but prime himself wasn't the end-all, be-all to that particular team when we were winning. And to state the fact that he mentioned Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, that these guys were the premium creme de la creme of the running backs, and they are the reason why that Dak Prescott sullied and denigrated these particular situations. Let me know in the postseason, because the last damn time Ezekiel Elliott was phenomenal in the postseason was the year 2018. 2018. What year is this? How far and how many years it been? And Tony Pollard, granted, the only person that held him back was his injuries in the postseason game. And damn it, in 2021, he touched the ball only 3 times. On that drive that they finally put Tony Pollard in that game, we scored a touchdown, and they rewarded him by putting him on the bench. I can't make this stuff up. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, if they were that great of a combination, how come we didn't get the results as it relates to the postseason? Can somebody let me know of those reasonings why, right? Coaching. And I'm not beating up Ezekiel Elliott. And as great as Tony Pollard was last season, oops. His numbers, I want you guys to look it up. Even last year, Tony Pollard numbers, and Rico got the exact same numbers from last season. Last season. I can't make this stuff up. So at some point, either we're going to be doing these little hot takes for views, or we're going to speak the truth. And this kid right here is not speaking the truth. He's not old enough to speak the truth at this point.
Prescott had Stephon Gilmore as well as Trayvon Diggs. What more do you need? You could put George Pickens, that ain't nothing but mascara. You can put CD Lamb, pay CD Lamb.
I want to let you guys know, how many games did we get a chance to see Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs play together? I need to know. I want to know in the chat, because see, there's even more of people who speak upon my team as if though they know my team. Let me know, because I'm beating this dog up right here. Don't call Peter. Oh, I mentioned dog. George, down, boy, down. Hey, down, George. Down. Oh, shit. Hey, how many games did Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs play together? Ooh, CJ, the original. Not many. No. It wasn't. Shoot. Hey, smoke one for you. I would have loved to see 5 or 7 games with Stephon Gilly Lock on one side and Diggs on the other. Ooh. That would be nice, boy. Oh, my God. It would be nice, boy. Yes, indeed. But people from the outside looking in, they mention these names. They merge years to years together. Look, I get it. 2021. If people want to have the right to gripe about that, think about the levels of expectations. A guy coming off of the previous year, bone breaking through the epidermis, dermis, subcutaneous, right? The only thing that was keeping his ankle bone from coming through on national TV were the socks that he had, right? That's the previous year. There's no quarterback in history to come back off of that year, right, to be inserted into a system 2021 to have the expectations coming off of a broken ankle to win the Super Bowl. It got to be on him. Public enemy number one. Now, Burrows that year, he came off of an ACL or what have you. They gave him comeback player of the year, which is a common injury, by the way. But that bone protruding, if I were to ask and poll everybody in this chat, would you rather have an ACL tear or an ankle to break through and pierce the skin and go through all of that and only the sock holding the leg together? Which recovery would you rather go through? Now, granted, 2021 Burrows, phenomenal. And I got people to this day that still fight and argue with me over the 2021 Burrow versus 2021 Dak. That defense was stifling. They got takeaways and turnovers in the postseason. They had Joe Mixon at that time to have over 13 or 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns. Hey, that offensive line was so bad that he was able to do that off of that offensive line. And then they had a pair of 2 wide receivers that can get gritty with it. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Burrows. And he was supposed to do that. That's what he's supposed to do. He was drafted in the first round. People act as if, though, Burrow was a 5th or a 6th round quarterback. I mean, the guy came into the league, blessed, land flowing of milk and honey, right? Yeah. Will Washington, man, give me the ACL, man. You know, I don't want these bones. Yeah. Everybody said, Yeah. Give me the ACL, man. I figured that out. And then as a quarterback, you don't really run like that anyway, right? Shoot. But they was like, hey, let's give comeback player of the year, Burrows. And don't even factor in the other things that the Cowboys were going through. That's crazy. Shoot, I would take that team, that Cincinnati team, over and over again. And here's the craziest thing of it all. From 2021 to 2022, Cincinnati, they didn't say, we didn't win it. Well, we went to the Super Bowl, we lost. Let's get rid of Jamar Chase. Let's get rid of T. Higgins. No, they added to that team. What's their excuses, right, of not being able to get back to the promised land with Burrows, with T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase, with a running game? What's their excuses, right? They kept saying offensive line. Shit. You mean to tell me since 2021 they couldn't solidify that offensive line? Come on, man, I got to land on the moon for sale. Yeah. So even Eric Oldhead, young bull, he's even agreeing with me. That's weird, Well, what happened to Burrows the last 2 seasons? Yeah. I think that Burrows in the last 2 seasons, he finished out last season healthy, right? Did their team make it to the postseason? Oh, man, I'm not trying to compare Burrows to Dak. But if we had them same set of circumstances, right? A healthy Dak for the complete year, as porous as that defense was, the Cincinnati Bengals defense was still better than the Cowboys defense last season, right? Y'all would have been crucifying this kid. Oh, man, he got Jamar Chase, man. He got T. Higgins, man. He got a running back that can give him over 4 yards per toe. Oh, man, he's whack, man. He even got a guy on defense. I kid you guys not. Trey Hendrickson's, this brother got 15-plus sacks. I think he had 18 to 19 sacks. You guys would have been saying, hey, he got defense. He got Trey. And some other kid there. Oh, man, y'all wouldn't let him off the hook. Yeah. Shoot.
Man, that ain't nothing but a BBL. But deep down inside, when the rubber meet the road, I really don't trust Dak Prescott and his performance. They don't care what you did. What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. This is your career, bro. There is a guy by the name of Archivius Manning that is waiting in a city close to Dallas. that can't wait. Schottenheimer ain't gonna jump on that grenade.
Nah, he ain't.
Clayton Adams ain't gonna jump on that grenade. Dak, you ain't even gonna jump on that grenade.
Bro, you talk. I know this naysayer ain't talking about jumping on no doggone grenade. Oh my God. You know, what was it, a Super Bowl that this brother was in? And all he had to do is jump on a football. Come on with it.
They gonna kick you on the grenade.
Oh my gosh, boy, this is what we turn it into. Yeah, I can't make this stuff up. I definitely can't make this stuff up. Now, granted, hate is hate, and I get it, you know, but there was some research that I did, and this, like they calling me a Dak defender, and I get it, you know, a Dak apologist, you know, and I've been doing this for not a long time, but an extreme long time, the infinity of the time. So I remember, and this is going all the way back, ladies and gentlemen, going back to 2000 and I believe 18 when I made this post. April of 2018, I made this post. And basically, this is for the stat munchers. You have to go all the way back into the archives so that you guys can know that I said this a long time ago. Look at that date, 2018, April the 21st of 2018. Side by side. Now, I'm not making this Carolina Panthers versus Dak, but I'm looking at the historical data, and it states that these guys are mirror images of each other.
Sitka Charles $5. Law, Eric agreeing to avoid paying his $35 he owes. He only paid $4.99 Wednesday.
My gosh. You got old fines, man. You got old fine money, Eric. So unless, you know, you keep it cool in the chat and not talking about, you know, X, Y, and Z things, you may need to go ahead and pay them old fines, bro. But we really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you again, Sadiq, for reminding us that there could be a bench warrant out for you, Eric. So go ahead and pay them old fines. Now, what I'm getting at is that in 2017, Dak Prescott was in his second season, and then Cam Newton, y'all can extrapolate that and see what year it was for him in 2017. But what I was getting at, that people were considering Dak Prescott to be trash. Keep in mind, y'all look up 2017. These 6 games without Ezekiel Elijah Elliott. And them numbers are very comparison and compelling to the same. Basically, just mirror each other. Shout out to DC.Center, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And those are the things that we have to really quantify. And I see you, my guy, Angry Cowboy fan. I hope all is well with you, man. You've been heavily on my mind and thoughts, man. And just continue to fight and battle. Continue to fight and battle. It never gets easy, right? All right, so that's just what I wanted to get at on that topic line right there for your mind. And on top of that, public enemy number one always will be Dak Prescott.
In your top 10.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like a Geno Plus, I guess, is how I view Dak. And I think one thing I love about Dak that leaves him open to a lot of the scrutiny that he faces, that he is willing to try some of these more, difficult throws on the football field where,
Yeah.
yeah, he's not afraid.
He goes, hey, that throw's open.